Hi guys, Mike back again with the next part of the Fellblade build log. It's coming along quite nicely. I have actually motored ahead slightly and forgot to do an update. But so we've got a track side on, we've got an outer hull side on. So I apologise for that, but I haven't put the other one on so I can talk to you about putting it on. So last we met, we were constructing the structure of the hull, which basically holds the whole Fellblade together. And remember, it was made up of the front hull, the hull plate, the top hull, and the engine block. And it all went together very, very nicely, actually. Really good. I'm really pleased with it. It's really straight, square. Didn't go together with too much bother. Like I said in the previous vid, I had a real kink in the front of this. So I have kind of put just a bit of filler in there just to make sure it's going to be smooth when I paint it. So it looks a bit rough there, but it is smooth to the touch, which is a good thing. So that's basically it. That's the structure of the tank. Everything's nice and square and level. It looks, yeah, really happy with it, really happy with it. Decided to go for epoxy in the end because I wanted to glue it all up all at the same time. And epoxy just affords you just that little bit of working time, whereas super glue is pretty much instantaneous grab. And I wanted to be able to put all of the components on, like I said in the previous video, and kind of squish it all together, hold it all together, wait for the glue to go off, you know, sort of, yeah, hold it from this way and push it down so that the top hull had a good and positive join to the top of the plastic. And it went together really, really nicely. Everything else fits. There's a bolter that goes here and another bit of hull, and that fits perfectly. Didn't have to do much finagling on that. And apart from that, we've been good. So I've moved on to the tracks, which is going to be the most difficult part of this build. Forge World have got a tradition, or used to at least anyway, of having their tanks come with their tracks separately. And this is certainly the case with Fellblade, Glaive, Proteus, Land Raider, and it used to be the Spartan. The Spartan assault tank now comes with fixed sides with the tracks already on, which is great. This would not be possible to do this because you need to construct the tracks underneath, and there's lots of plastic components. So unless they redesign the Fellblade in its entirety, they're never going to be able to give you the track sides complete with track attached. So we need to work that out ourselves. So what you've got, and I'll show you on the other side, it's quite good actually because I've done this side so you can see what it looks like finished, but then I can show you the right hand side to show you what it looks like when it's not finished. So what we need to do basically is affix our track sides again, which are nice, really, really good fit as well. I had a really good fit. You know, they button up really nicely underneath this ridge here, this plastic ridge. Just goes together very, very nicely. So what we have to do, there's a groove, there's a channel on the inside here, which lines up with these pegs. And basically all you're doing, see there, is attaching it there. That's it. And again, we've got a very nice fit. Looks very nice. It's all square, it all fits up, there's no gaps. Well, you know, yeah, once it's buttoned up nicely. So we're looking good there. Then after that, we need to put the outer wheels in. The inner wheels are part of this inner hull anyway. So we use our plastic components we got from the plastic side of the kit. And then once that is glued in, these basically just mirror those wheels there. So you just make sure they're lined up and you just glue them in. So that's where we are on this side here. So that's what we need to do next on the right hand side. Okay, tracks. Right, this is a whole track side. All the tracks are numbered. So we've got L1 and L2, which I'll just put a bit of blue tack on. L3 is a wheel, which comes with that. And then we've got They are numbered. Yep, L4, L5, L6, L7. L denotes left, obviously. And you've got the same on the right-hand side, but they're denoted R. Right, so what we need to do, there is a handy arrow, which says the tracks are going around this way. So, track 1, no bother, really. Track 2, then, is going to go here. And they do button up very nicely, actually. You can see that there's the gappage there is none. What we need to do then is model this. So we've got track on this wheel, we've got this housing here, which goes on like that, and then this then glues to here. So what we need to do is make sure that this front wheel is lined up. So L3 is lined up with L2, which it is there, so that's good. So what I'm going to do is set this up, and then I need to glue the wheel to this housing. So I need to make sure that that's glued like that. So from that perspective, no issue at all. What I don't know yet is how L4 is going to fit onto the back of L3. So I need to do some finagling because I can see I've got a relatively, well, I've got a good fit on L2 to L3, as you can see. Well, you know, so I need to make sure this is glued in the correct position before I glue this onto here, so that L2 connects to L3 and the L4 on the underside, wherever that goes, sort of here or wherever, is going to fit. And then the big track, then we've got L5, which shouldn't be too much of a bother. Well, I'm not sure. So yeah, something like that. And then L6 goes at the back, and then we've got another wheel at L7, which plugs into this hole here, which plugs in there. So yeah, we shall see. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a finagle just to make sure it's absolutely right and true and straight. And then we've got to do the same on the other side. So that's it for this one. I'll put one side on, I'll show you what it looks like, and we'll go from there. So that's it for this one, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers. Okay, guys, we're back, and the left side of the tracks is on. And it was all right, actually. Took probably, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, which seems like a very long time. But to get the right fit and finish is really worth taking the time. As anticipated, glued sections L1 and L2 on with no bother at all. And then we come down to L3 and this housing here, which all glued on and lined up very nicely. And then we've got L4, L5, L6 and L7 with the wheel up here. And then we've got a housing up here which holds it all in, and there's just this little section here just to hide this bit from the blade. But it's all went on very nicely. Really pleased with the fit and finish of that. The only issue I had was the rear wheel had some issues. It was too wide. This bit here made the wheel stick out too far and was pushing the side of the outer hull out too much, and then this wouldn't line up. So I had to cut this down and sort of, you know, make it fit, which it does, and it's fine. So yeah, really happy with the way that's come out. So that is the left hand side done, and we're just going to do the work on the right hand side, which will hopefully mirror the ease of the left hand side. So I'll do that and I'll get back to you within this video to show you what it looks like, and we'll go from there. So that's I'll catch you in a sec. Okay guys, we're back with the finished chassis of the Fellblade. What I'm just going to show you quickly first is just the bits that I haven't done anything with as yet. You get I'm going to leave these off So we've got the heavy bolters, which I'm going to leave off and paint separately. Demolisher cannon, which I'm going to leave off and paint separately. Then we've got the housings for said demolisher cannon and heavy bolters. So yeah, I'll talk about that in a sec. Then we've got the turret, which is fine, and the 2 turret hatches, which I'm going to put on. You do get the options to have tank crew, so they're pretty nice actually. Nice looking sculpts. So you've got a driver and someone else, and one of them's got arms. He's got a kind of bionic mechanical arm and a bolt pistol with the shoulder pads. So I won't be using those. And we've got a couple of barrels which go on the back of the Fellblade. Again, probably paint those separately because I can, and I'll glue them on. We've got the stowage, which just needs a little bit of work to get the fit nice. You see there's a bit of a gap there, so, but yeah, that's, you know, need to fit that. But we'll glue that on before I paint it. And obviously the accelerator cannon, which again I'm going to glue in, and I'll decide on the elevation of the cannon when I do that. So that's all I've got left for parts for the Fellblade. Made up the quad las cannons, so they move, they pivot there, so they both work from that perspective, and I've magnetized them again for ease of painting and ease of transport, so they'll just get magnetized on. I'll show you those in a sec. And then we've got the Fellblade itself. Very nice. It went together very, very nicely. I'm really happy with the fit and finish of it. The track work wasn't arduous, as long as you take your time. Dry fit. Make sure, because as I've shown you in the previous videos, we've got wheels at the front and the back. Make sure that they're all lined up nicely, and there were no issues. This is the best track work that I've had from Forge World when it's been separated from the hull sides. So I was really pleased with the way it fitted. I showed you the left side before, and again the finish under there is really, really nice. And similarly with the right side, very nice, very straight. These wheel sections go up underneath here, and then we've got these sections that get glued on. They kind of push up into here, and yeah, so they fit. Again, just a bit of gap fill in there, but that's okay. But everything looks really, really nicely. Tracks have gone on beautifully. It sits level, which is always a bonus. Put the shields on for the quad cannons, and like I say, they just magnetize on, so they'll go up and down and go out left and right. Similarly with these ones, so that's good. Just need to actually do a bit of heat bending. I'm going to heat these pipe work up with a hairdryer, so I can just bend it over and fit it into the hole there. So, but that was just the fit and finish of the quad cannon. And similarly with that one, just needs bending and shifting over. So yes, very, very happy with that. What else? That's about it, really. Actually, it was a really, really nice build. Really enjoyed doing it. And like I said, in little stages, making sure that your hull is together nicely. And then, I mean, these outer hull sections glued on really, really nicely. They were flat. Virtually no manipulation with those at all. Yeah, and they were there. And the tracks just went on. A little bit of manipulation at the back, just to give it a good fit here. And similarly on this side. So happy with that. So yeah, it's a beast. It's an absolute beast. So we've got Demolisher cannon to go in. And again, it says not to glue it, but I probably will glue it because, you know, I'll probably have it erect or sort of pointing up at least anyway. I don't really want it flopping about, as it were. And then the heavy bolter, again, fits in there. So again, I'm going to paint it paint it separately. And then I've got the hatch that goes on top. Got our quad cannons, like I said, which looks good. And our barrels that go at the back there, and there's little slots for them to be recessed into. So they go on quite nicely, but again, because I can paint them separately, I will. And then turrets on, nice fit on there. And our accelerator cannon is on there. And a stowage, of course. And the hatches. And then all we've got left is just the crew. So that's it. That's all we've got left. So yeah, went together really, really nicely. Very happy with this. It's a beast. It's huge. Yeah, actually, thinking about it, I'm not sure about this. I'll have to work out how I'm going to possibly elevate that and elevate the demolisher cannon. Although the demolisher cannon sits reasonably, but I'll probably glue it in anyway. But excuse me. So that's it for the Fellblade. I'm going to paint it now. So I'll prime it. I'll do a bit of gap filling, prime it, and all of that. And the next video you see of this will probably be it painted up. And so I'll show you what it looks like when it's all done and dusted in my Death Guard colour scheme. So there we go. Any questions, queries, comments, let me know. I really enjoyed this build. I know Leaky Cheese was kind of, he mentioned in the comments about whether these sort of plastic resin hybrid kits were sort of comparable to like your likes of the Storm Eagle and the Fire Raptor, which are hybrid resin plastic kits from Forge World. I found this one much easier than the Storm Eagle, and I found the Storm Eagle personally easier to put together than the Fire Raptor. So by that account, the Fire Raptor is by far the worst hybrid plastic resin model kit from Forge World I've put together. You might have a different experience, but that's just my opinion. I really enjoyed doing this. Yeah. And if I could field a load of them in my 30k army, I probably would. But as it's a Lord of War choice, and I've got Mortarians, well, we'll have Mortarian sat there as well as a Lord of War choice. Yeah, there aren't too many gaps for Lord of War slots. So we'll see. But really enjoyed doing this. I'm going to really enjoy painting this. Again, with these vehicles, there's not a huge amount of, you know, it's flat surfaces, isn't it? So we'll see what it comes out like. But anyway, really enjoyed the build. Hope you've enjoyed a bit of a build log here. And let me know what you think. And I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers, guys.